A lot of diets that I've been talking about prescribe periodically eating carbohydrates. For instance, the steak and eggs diet. Vince Guarana has you eating high fat, low carbs, and one small meal of carbohydrates every 3 or 4 days. Or what most people do, an entire day on the weekend of high carb, low fat. The same thing with the anabolic diet, which I've spoken of before, where you basically eat high fat, low carb all week, and 1 or 2 days on the weekend, you eat high carb, low fat. Now, there's a couple reasons for that. People lose the pump in their muscles, people lose the fullness in their muscles when they go on low carbs, and eating every once in a while some carbs will fill up the glycogen and fill out your muscles again, okay? Now, the thing is, some people have been on low carbs for a long time and actually feel good on low carbs, and a lot of them do it for health reasons. They just feel better eating high fat, low carbs, have been asking me, do you need to do these refeeds? And the answer is no. I am one of those people who I have not eaten for a very long time. We're talking weeks and months, any carbohydrate rich meals, okay? And I feel fine. I feel wonderful. I could go through my daily life with no problem. I'm never tired. I have constant, level energy, no highs and lows. And I could even go jogging. I could lift weights, weighted calisthenics, and I feel wonderful, okay? Now, there is one reason why I've been thinking about adding in carbohydrates, and that is if I do anaerobic, like short burst sprinting type exercises, sometimes I could do them fine, but sometimes I feel like something's a little bit missing, okay? Like when I used to have some carbohydrates, I could do it a little bit better, okay? I could go a little bit more all out. And like I said, this is not for jogging or running or long distance exercise, which you burn fat very well on. What I'm talking about is if I'm gonna do like burpees or jump rope intervals or sprints, okay? So I could do them fine, but I felt like something's a little bit missing. So I did an experiment yesterday. It just so happens yesterday was my 2-year anniversary with my girlfriend. So we decided to go out and eat a couple times. And I was thinking I'm probably not going to eat carbohydrates because I feel great without carbs and I have no desire to eat carbohydrates again. But as an experiment, I decided that I would go ahead and eat carbohydrates and just to see what it's like to have a refeed again. And I didn't really miss them, I didn't really enjoy eating them, and I felt bad after I ate them, okay? Today's the next day, and I still don't feel like I got anything out of the carbohydrates yesterday. So I'm just going to give you a couple takeaway points. Okay, first of all, Vince Guarana said you should not eat fat and carbohydrates in the same meal. His reason was, you break down in your body, you digest fat and carbohydrates in different mediums with different enzymes, so having them at the same time kind of makes it so that you can't really digest them properly, okay? What I say is every single, and I've talked about this before, every single diet that makes you fat combines carbs and fat, okay? For instance, you eat pizza. High carb, high fat, it makes you fat. You eat hamburgers with French fries and soda, high carb, high fat, makes you fat. Everything that gets you lean is either high carb or high fat. For instance, chicken and rice, high carb, low fat. Steak and eggs, high fat, low carb. Okay, so you really shouldn't combine fat and carbs in the same meal. When I ate yesterday, for instance, at dinner, I had potatoes and potato salad. It just kind of got into my stomach. It felt like I had like a rock in my stomach. It was digesting slowly. I didn't get any energy out of it. I felt really bad, okay? So I really recommend that if you are going to refeed, you don't do that. What I did, believe it or not, what I really did feel good eating yesterday was liquid sugary carbs, okay? Everybody says, well, have like whole grain cereal or whole grain bread or potatoes or rice, and that's the healthiest way to get the carbohydrates in. But believe it or not, the only foods that I had that actually I felt like I was getting, glucose into my muscles were when I had a glass of soda at lunch and when I had a Cola Weizen. Then we went to a German place for dinner, so I had to mix like half cola and half like Coca-Cola and half Weizen beer together, and I drank that and I felt that going into my muscles. I felt actually good when I had that. So believe it or not, liquid sugary carbs were the only carbs that I had yesterday that made me feel good. So what that actually brings me back to is I'm going to be going on a lean bulk now. It officially starts like in a week, and I'm going to go 6 months to try to get as strong as possible on weighted calisthenics, which of course would mean I would build as much muscle as possible. Now, I was thinking, should I do carb refeed days? What should I do? However, after my experiment yesterday, it kind of cemented in exactly what I was thinking the whole time, that if I do add carbs into my diet, I will go back on my anaerobics diet, okay? That's the diet that if you join my newsletter, you get sent the whole complete diet as an attachment in the first email. It's basically, you only eat carbs before and after you work out. Okay, you have like a smoothie with almond milk, kale, plain, unflavored, non-fat Greek yogurt, so you get lean protein, no fat, and a frozen banana. You mix that up in a blender, drink it, work out. So you have like liquid carbohydrates before you work out. It just bumps you with enough energy, enough carbohydrates to get through a really hard anaerobic workout. If you're going to do sprints, burpees, squat jumps, things like that, jump rope intervals that will give you the energy you need. Then after the workout, you drink protein mixed with dextrose, which is basically a very simple sugar, and you drink that down, and it goes back into your body, spikes your insulin, which is good after a workout because you can absorb the protein better. Insulin, the reason why bodybuilders shoot insulin, puts your body in a very anabolic environment, which is good, with a meal after you work out. And then the rest of the day you eat either protein or protein and fat, okay? So like I said, that's basically what I would recommend, that you do not need a carb refeed day. You do not need to eat carbohydrates. However, if for some reason you feel like something's a little bit missing, especially if you do, like I said, sprints or HIIT cardio training or things like that, what I would do is I would suggest you check out my anaerobics diet, where you have some carbs right before and after you work out in liquid form, in the form, believe it or not, of simple sugars, not something that's like potatoes or rice that's going to sit in your stomach like a rock and take forever to digest. And definitely, like I said, make that a protein and simple sugar meal, not a carb and fat meal, because it would take forever to digest and you won't get the benefits in the time that you need them if you eat fat and carbs together.